as we know, guys, the Barbarian has been hit with the buff nerf stick once again. There's been a lot of nerf things over the last 3 hotfixes, but that's okay because once again, they have not played their game and not tested a change, and Barbarian is still going to be extremely, extremely strong. You won't be the same as you were before, but you'll be oppressive in different ways. So, just quickly too, so we can kind of figure out what happened. They changed the base strength and you lose 5. So you already lose like 5% damage. And now in your rage, you also lose 5% damage. So now you've lost 10% base damage. They buffed Potion Sugar to 50%. So the timer that you would do on a potion is now half. But they've also reduced the amount of time for potions for everybody. So they've given you a double buff for the Potion Sugar perk. And then they nerfed Roar to 6 seconds, which doesn't really address the issue per se, although it's very good for long fights or whatever. It's not as good. Like, it's good for other players in long fights now. So most people's escape mechanism or skills are 6 seconds long, like Sprint is 6 seconds, Rage is 6 seconds, Phantomize is 6 seconds. So now it kind of brings it in line with you can outrun the whole duration as long as you're playing properly. They completely chalked Reckless Attack by buffing it more, but also making you take double damage or more. So I have no idea what the fuck they're doing with this skill. Don't touch it. Down here in the developer notes, they say some stupid stuff like, we're trying to encourage the risk versus reward gameplay, which is like, what's the risk? I'm risking hitting my Reckless Attack on somebody's shield or getting a leg shot, which is the only people you're going to use it on is fighters and clerics. For what? So I can take double damage from a Falc? Like, what the fuck is risk versus reward? There's no, like, so you know what? I understand they're trying. Props to them. Overall, nerfs for other classes like Warlock got nerf buffed, Wizard got buffed, stuff like that, but those are kind of irrelevant for us. I'm not sure why they give fighter magic resistance when the whole point of fighter is to like not have magic resistance while on plate, but you know, whatever. Doesn't really apply to us. So we'll get into my new perk selection.
Let's just kill the kid and get it over with. Okay? Here you go, kid. A little Grecian formula. Look at that. Changing. Can we do it now? No. He has to drink the whole potion. Every last drop.
Who's there?
You. Yeah. Did you see that? Next stop.
9th Demigod character.
All right, just take it easy, champ.
I am ready. I want to get off this island. I want to battle some monsters. Rescue some damsels. You know.
Pick my own map.
Well,
Oh, come on, Phil.
So what you choose to drop is up to you. Currently, because I'm not running into too many wizards because of the game state for wizards and warlocks, I switched out my Iron Will for Potion Checker. Keep in mind that this will make you very susceptible to magic damage. Clerics with Holy Smite were like, or Holy Strike, sorry, were literally fucking doing a third of my health. Though keep in mind I wasn't wearing a magic resist helmet at the time, but still, I was losing a third of my health for basically free. So you have to really play around the magic, but this is probably the optimal setup.
That's right.
So you're telling me Potion Checker's busted?
Yeah, that's right.
How come nobody's talking about this?
You're completely sure of the math.
Look at him. That's my quant.
You're what?
My quantitative. My math specialist. Look at him. You notice anything different about him? Look at his face.
That's pretty racist.
Look at his eyes. I'll give you a hint. His name's Yang.
If you think you can get away with Crush, not having Crush because of the resourcefulness buff, PSA, you can't. Crush is a mandatory perk, but let's just say you wanted to try it. You could swap Crush for Iron Will and then keep Potion Sugar. Alternatively, you could drop Berserk, although Berserk is extremely good. So I think this is the new hard lock perk setup, and For as far as skills, I am currently running Savage Roar and Rage. The reason why I'm running Savage Roar and Rage more than any other class or any other perk setup is simply because I'm playing the ice map quite a lot. It's fun in duos. It's fun in solos. A lot of people are not familiar with the ice map and don't want to play it, so the lobbies are pretty chill. And if you have Savage Roar on ice map, you get an added benefit of absolutely having a get out of jail free card versus these really cringe mobs. So don't sleep on Savage Roar if you're playing ice map. If you're not playing ice map, Achilles is still a viable option, but I think Savage Roar is technically better. However, if you're playing solos, Achilles will probably be better for you. If you're playing duos or trios, Savage Roar is probably better because you can bail out your teammate if he gets jumped, and usually your teammate is somewhat squishier than you. Second point to make, if you are playing solo and you feel like, and there's a game where you need Achilles in that game in order to not die, you will want to punch your monitor if you don't have Achilles. Just bear that in mind. All the other perks are basically garbage, trash. Again, same thing applies. If you don't have gear, can't afford a tunic for whatever reason. Savage is good, so you could swap out something for Savage if you would like it. But even now, I don't know if you'd want to do that just because you need Potion Sugar. Normally, you'd swap out Iron Will as your perk for Savage if you were running it, if you didn't have Chest Beast. But now Potion Sugar is mandatory, I think. Robust is always mandatory. Crush, I'm always keeping. So if you're really poor, yeah, swap that out. And then as far as skills go, Rage, you have to take it no matter what. And Savage Roar Achilles for you is basically the play. Now, in terms of new stats that I'm looking for, which I know a lot of people are asking about, or will ask about rather, is because of the new weapon setup that I'm using.
Hey, everybody! Andy's back! He's back early from cowboy camp!
Places, everybody! Andy's coming!
Hey, Woody! Did you miss me? Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up! Ride up, cowboy! Oh, I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
No, Andy! No, Andy, no!
I do not get the same stats. The stats I'm looking for are still 170 HP-ish. You need to have like 305 to 315 move speed, somewhere in between there. 315 is obviously the new 300, but somewhere in between there should be fine for you. And action speed, you still want positive, so I try to get like 5-ish, but I'm not getting to 15 anymore because I'm not running the Zweihander anymore. I am currently running the Bardiche. And with that being said, I'm also prioritizing move speed significantly more. And since I am prioritizing move speed significantly more, on average, I'm picking up lace turn shoes and loose trousers unless I have a perfect move speed roll or a good move speed roll on any of my pants. I'm not really wearing the other pants just because you need to be able to basically negate as much move speed as you can so that you can get returned to like 300 move speed. Rings and stuff, I'm looking for agi, move speed rings, strength, move speed rings, anything like that, right? Still rocking the Barbuda helm, still probably the best. That brings you most of your action speed, so it should be fine. And then obviously I'm running Bardiche now and not Zweihander. The Zweihander has a better attack pattern. It's better versus mobs. It's faster. It has longer reach. The only thing is it's been hit with a triple damage nerf with the -5 flat damage, the 5 base strength nerf, and the rage 5% nerf on strength. So you've lost too much damage, and the Bardiche is just too much damage to ignore anymore. Normally the game kind of always is bigger number, pick that, but the Zweihander was so good for so long that you could get away with using it even though it was slightly less damage because it just outperformed everything, but now you just can't. It's not worth it anymore. Second thing to note in my inventory, Potion Chugger is so broken that you don't need to take any bandages. Potion Chugger will heal you faster than a Surge Kit up until a certain point. Like if you have upwards of like 170 HP or more and you get down to like none, Surge Kit will be faster. But if you're like lose a half of your health or like like almost even 2/3 of your health, Potion Chugger will be faster than a Surge Kit. So my inventory looks like this. Usually I have one Surge Kit here. I take one Protection Potion and some lockpicks. Now, something else to note, which is kind of bad, but also kind of good. Potion Chugger fucks your timer on your potions of protection. So you have to use Potion of Protection way closer to your targets rather than pre-popping it and running because it will run out really fast. However, Potion Chugger buffs the living fuck out of the amount of damage you get to block from Potions of Protection that it's kind of fucking disgusting. You get essentially way more damage block, although it's kind of annoying because you have to use it way closer, so you're susceptible to getting hit first, but it's extremely good. And then I'm running the classic, like, I usually take 4 Francesca sets, you know, until they nerf it to 3. I'm sure what they should do is just let you only take 1 slot full, so you can only have 3 at most, because even 3 is a little oppressive, but 3 is in the middle ground where people will be a little happy and there won't be some guy with like fucking 80 Francescas just throwing them at classes that don't want to get hit by that shit. So I think it's kind of fair if they limit it to just one side of your one hotbar. Like maybe label these hotbars as like potion utility, throwable utility or something like that. They don't have to be hard stuck to those things, but just label them as that so that you can only fill up one with one. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about my gear. I still run Adventure Tunic. I still run HP gloves on average. This build just happens to have HP legs. So if you ever run padded leggings, you can decide to drop the riveted gloves and instead pick up, reinforced gloves and instead pick up riveted gloves. Just keep that in mind. You still, as long as you hit the 170 HP mark ish, and then like the 305, 315 move speed mark, 5% ish action speed mark, you should be fine.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon!
RetroRey!
I am a surgeon!
All right. Since I know a lot of people asked and they were very upset on my last video, let me explain to you why the club is a terrible weapon. I know some people don't get it, but let me explain. Look at the stat trade-offs that we're trading here, okay? On the Viking sword side, we are giving up 2 damage. Hold on, let me put some bigger lines. We're giving up 2 damage over on this side. And over here, we're giving up 5 move speed. Over here, we're giving up 10% AP, armor penetration, which equates to roughly 1 to like 3 damage for like half the classes. Now, when you're fighting a PDR fighter and cleric, that's different. The club will do significantly more damage, especially the stronger the PDR, the more the club will do. But we're trading that for the chasing potential of this, right? What are the other benefits of the club as? Better attack pattern. So the club has a significantly better attack pattern than the Viking sword. But the club also has worse swing startup. When you start an infinitely swinging weapon, which is what the club has, it as an infinite swing pattern, the starting swing has like a half-second delay in comparison to the Viking sword. We're also, the Viking sword has longer reach. I know I kind of fucked up this chart here, okay? some of the stuff is on the other side, but you get the idea. The Viking sword has longer reach. It has better move speed. The club has better attack pattern. So which one is better? The Viking sword still ranks king for multiple reasons. The only time that you should be using your secondary weapon ever, and I mean literally ever, is when you are chasing somebody. This is you. This is your Viking sword. This is the poor rogue player. And he's running away. And you're chasing him. And you're smacking him in the back of the head. So, that's the blood. So, what would you want? Why would you want to have -5 move speed if you're literally chasing? It makes no sense. But, on the other hand, if the rogue has a lot of gear, and he does manage to pull some play where he turns around and fights you with his higher DPS dagger, you will lose probably if you face tank him with a Viking sword. But you don't fight him with the Viking sword. You put your Viking sword away and you pull your main hand weapon. The next debate we have here for this is people are talking about, let's use the round shield. The round shield does -13. It gives you good AR. So it's good in trios. It allows you to block things. It gives you more AP, which is probably the only real benefit you have, is it gives you more juicy AP. Because if you don't have a secondary slot filled up, and an offhand on your secondary slot, you can get a purple round shield and get a bunch of free AP. But the lantern has the advantage of no minus move speed and the lantern you can actually throw and proc Achilles if you're using Achilles. So the lantern is still better because you're still trying to chase people with your secondary weapon. The second benefit the lantern has is you can actually see what the fuck is going on. So stop using the fucking club, guys. Stop using the round shield. Unless, of course, you're in trios. If you're in trios specifically, and you're running an AR build, by all means, use a club. All my advice to preface is for solos and duos, based on what I've seen and based on how easy I've made the game for myself. So please avoid the shield, avoid the club if you're in solos or duos. And he's running away and you're chasing him and you're smacking him in the back of the head. So that's the blood. So what would you want? Why would you want to have -5 move speed if you're literally chasing? It makes no sense. But on the other hand, if the rogue has a lot of gear and he does manage to pull some play where he turns around and fights you with his higher DPS dagger, you will lose probably if you face tank him with a Viking sword. But you don't fight him with the Viking sword. You put your Viking sword away and you pull your main hand weapon. The next debate we have here for this is people are talking about, let's use the round shield. The round shield does -13. It gives you good AR. So it's good in trios. It allows you to block things. It gives you more AP, which is probably the only real benefit you have, is it gives you more juicy AP. Because if you don't have a secondary slot filled up, and an offhand on your secondary slot, you can get a purple round shield and get a bunch of free AP. But the lantern has the advantage of no minus move speed and the lantern you can actually throw and proc Achilles if you're using Achilles. So the lantern is still better because you're still trying to chase people with your secondary weapon. The second benefit the lantern has is you can actually see what the fuck is going on. So stop using the fucking club, guys. Stop using the round shield. Unless, of course, you're in trios. If you're in trios specifically, and you're running an AR build, by all means, use a club. All my advice to preface is for solos and duos, based on what I've seen and based on how easy I've made the game for myself. So please avoid the shield, avoid the club if you're in solos or duos. Okay, so now we're going to go over how you should be thinking about your fights, and I'll just kind of give a quick overview because in previous videos and in previous streams, I've basically stated that if you don't end a fight on Barbarian in like 10 seconds, you're basically dead. But with the new potion checker buff, it is actually okay for you to trade and run and heal and trade and run and heal. And you can afford to take longer fights now because you can essentially out-heal your opponent provided you have enough resources. So before, when I was stating that you should always burst and run and kill somebody, and then if not, playing your escape, you still should be thinking like that, but you can afford to be a little bit more slow with your fights, even if you end up taking a little bit of chip damage, because you can always kite and you can always heal. Something else that's very important is like, if you think that you're gonna win, but you're not quite sure, and you're in a close engagement, literally, you can just play Ring Around the Rosie in the room that you're in with your rage, consistently outrun slower players, and then heal until a comfortable spot where you can re-engage with your skills and your new HP because of Potion Checker. So keep that in mind when playing with Potion Checker, because you are now allowed to extend your fight duration by at least double. As you can see in this clip, I'm literally just running around in circles, healing, in order to outplay this fighter. Anyway, guys, if you're watching this video, I should be live by now on Twitch and YouTube. Sub to my YouTube. I'm almost at 1,000 subs if you like what I've shown you here. And we'll catch you on the live streams. Peace, boys. Happy Demigod hunting.